My name is Chris Peterman. I was a graduating senior at Bob Jones University until 2 days ago. Um, on Tuesday, I was expelled, um, and this is my story. Um, in December of last year, I started a Facebook group and a student protest at Bob Jones University. Um, it was a result of some issues that had been brought to light by a 2020 investigation, and I found out that Chuck Phelps, a pastor up in New Hampshire, was on the board of trustees at Bob Jones, and so I called for his resignation. Bob Jones announced that any of the students involved, any of the students in organizing it, would not receive repercussions, um, and so the protest went ahead. Everything was fine. Chuck Phelps resigned, and Bob Jones formed a committee on sexual abuse to investigate some allegations at the school. I went home for Christmas vacation and came back to school, and everything was fine until I started having to have weekly meetings with the Dean of Men at the beginning of the semester. These meetings focused on my spiritual life and how, according to Bob Jones, I did not meet their expectations because I questioned authority and because of Do Right BJU. At least in my estimation, that's what the meetings were a result of. During these meetings, I was required to read an entire book of the Bible every day, and I was required to write out what I thought and talk about it with the Dean of Men. Eventually, the meetings turned into questions and critiques of my Facebook post and my Twitter posts. I would go in, and the Dean of Men would have printed copies of my actual posts from social media. I was informed that the public relations department at Bob Jones was monitoring all of my actions. Every move I made was monitored. They would have things highlighted, circled, starred. Anything that was remotely questionable in their eyes was brought to question during the meetings. But there were no consequences for the first several months. A little background information about Bob Jones: they used to block all social media until recently, and when they unblocked it, they promised the students that they would not monitor the social accounts like Facebook and Twitter, and that no students would get in trouble for anything that they had on there. And I wasn't getting in trouble. I wasn't getting demerits. I was just being harassed, in my estimation, by student life at Bob Jones because everything I posted was under a microscope. So eventually, we came into Bible conference week at the end of March, and that's when the meetings took a turn for the worse, in my estimation. I received demerits for sending a tweet before a Bible conference service. It's not against the rules to have your phone out in the actual building, but once the service starts, you're not allowed to be on it. I sent the tweet before the service had ever started, and so they used that to give me 25 demerits. The next week, I was called in because I was reported off campus watching a TV show, which is not against the rules. They agreed with me in a special committee that I had to go to, but they upheld the 50 demerits because the nature of the show, which was Glee, that's broadcast on Fox, they said Glee was so morally reprehensible that I deserved the 50 demerits. Continuing on, I was called in just this past week for posting lyrics to a Christian song on my Facebook. The song was by Matthew West, entitled Only Grace. I was informed that I was receiving 50 demerits for that, and I was also called in because of a Facebook message that I had sent during class.
So why would you be penalized for posting Christian song lyrics?
The Christian song lyrics were to a song that, according to Bob Jones, is not acceptable.
I mean, Bob Jones is a Christian school.
Bob Jones is a Christian school, and the words to that song Bob Jones can agree with every word. It's about grace and God's love. But because of the artist that they were from, they deemed them inappropriate. But according to the rule book, you're not allowed to listen to the music. There's no rule about reading the lyrics. It's just a poem. Um, and many students post um, all types of lyrics, but because I was being questioned and harassed in my belief, um, they questioned those lyrics. Um, and the Facebook post was during class, and according to Bob Jones, you're not supposed to be on Facebook during class, which is understandable. And they were going to give me 25 demerits for that. I went to a special committee, and they reviewed it. They decided not to give me the demerits for the lyrics, but they gave me the 25 demerits for the message, which put me at 145. You have to have 150 demerits to be expelled from Bob Jones, um, but I didn't have that. They claimed during this meeting that I had tried to intimidate them by telling them that I had contacted some agencies, some news agencies, and some other agencies such as the Department of Education and Trax. When I was informed that I was being kicked out, they said that was a form of intimidation and that that was unacceptable. And I was kicked out of Bob Jones 9 days before my graduation.